Hi beautiful souls, this is Archana here, welcoming everyone to my channel with all my love and all my heart. Today, in this video, I'm going to continue on a topic that I touched upon in a previous conversational style video, where I talked about the number synchronicities and awakening. If you're interested, I'm going to link that video up for all of you to see. So in that video, we really talked about was if you're beginning to see these number patterns and number sequences, truly it is an awakening of the soul. And I left off by saying, let's get into it. What is really taking place when you begin to see these numbers? So in this part of the video, what I'll talk about is I'll go through the vibration of the numbers, and when you're seeing some combination of these, that's what this number is asking of you, or the universe is showing you, is bringing to your attention, that you're seeing manifest around you in your life. And that could be in all areas. So that's why I'm going to start it off with this before I get into individually of the individual vibration of the numbers, is things taking place at a spiritual level, at a mental level, at an emotional level, and on the physicality. So that can manifest in your relationships at home, intimate and love connections, work partnerships, opportunities, and your own mindset. You know, the positive thinking, or are we being gripped with fear, or the emotions? You know, are we coming from a strong emotional reaction, or are we coming from a more balanced place? All that is something that you'll begin to see play out, and you'll become aware of it. I mean, it's always playing out. It's just that you'll become more aware of it. So that was kind of the crux of the other video. Now, starting with that, if you're beginning to see the numbers one, you know, any combination of ones, and especially I know there's a big thing on the 1111s. I'm seeing 1111 and, you know, 1111. I've done a video especially on 1111. You can go ahead and see that if you like. But the crux again of that is, we call it like the code of awakening. It is our soul's calling, getting us on our soul's path and soul purpose. The energy of one, where you're connecting, standing here straight and tall, right? The spiritual energy coming down through the crown, anchored here on earth. Ones are all about new beginnings. It's about creation. It's about leadership. It's about your own uniqueness, your own individuality. For it is your spiritual energy that is being manifested on the physical form. So when you're beginning to see any combination of ones, just a single one, double one, etc., it really is that there's some aspect in your life that is going through a shift. There is a new beginning on hand for you, or perhaps there is an area in your life that is requiring an overhaul and a new start. So when that shows up, one of the key things that I have seen manifest in my life and show up in my life is I'm given a lot of opportunities, a lot of chances to express myself, my individuality. So when that's showing up, it is time to honor who you are, your individual self. Your unique colors, your way of talking, your way of doing things, your way of handling things, standing up for what you believe in, self-assertion. So it is time to start taking a leadership role. Perhaps some of you will be called in leadership roles. If you're seeing that number, it's actually pointing towards you taking charge and leadership in your own life. It could be at work. Apply for that promotion. Don't be fearful. Apply. Shift a job if you have to. Don't be afraid of trying something new. It could be a new relationship that's coming up and showing up in your life. So pay attention to that. And there may be things that are opening up and shifting around you, where you are needing to speak up, where you hadn't spoken up before. So it is the time for take charge and take leadership of your life. That's the energy of the ones. If you're beginning to see that, these are some of the things that you can do. What is What is something new that I can do and try? How is it that I can try something? What is it that I can do? So it's about the I. It looks like the I also, right? So it's about the I, about new beginnings in your life. And when you're seeing those ones, it's a number for drive. It's a number for passion. It's the number for ambition and power. Or because you're coming and using the divine spark, the divine source energy from the zero, and you're anchoring it here through you. So your divine power. So this will be a lot about power also. So have a look at what's taking place in how are you asserting your power? I mean, do you have boundaries? Do you assert yourself? Do you learn to say no? So those are some of the things, and things may come up as challenges or may pan out in your life in different places. If you never get to say no at your workplace or at home, are people, quote unquote, it makes you feel like people are taking advantage of you, right? So when the ones are showing up, it is like, okay, it is time for leadership. It is time for moving forward and creation of something new. So not making this into a huge long video about the ones, but a super quick one on when I had started to see a lot of the 1111s, I was in the middle of a huge project. Okay, and I'll relate to how I saw even the threes during that time. It was a brand new thing that I was doing, and it involved a lot of my personal talents and skills, and also honing in on a lot of those skill sets and learning to kind of find the beat about my own skill sets. It really came up during that time, and I saw a birthing of a huge amount of creative energy during that part of the project that I was undertaking and doing. So those were the times I was constantly seeing a lot of the 11s or the 1s or the 1111s. That's when actually my code of awakening, so-called, had begun. So pay attention to that if you're beginning to see any combinations of 1s. So now let's talk about the 2s. The 2 is really the vibration of partnership. The 2 is about harmony. 2 is about bringing things in balance. So anytime I'm looking at a 2, to me, the great example that I can say is it's like a seesaw, So how do you bring a balance when you're on a seesaw? Okay, somebody's here, you're swinging low, or then somebody's here, you're swinging on that side. It also speaks about, learning to be a little bit flexible. Right? I mean, all right, I'm on a seesaw and I'm right here. If I need to go up, I'm going to have to kind of allow myself to be lifted off the ground and allow the other person to move there. So it's working in partnership. Why I'm showing you like that is because it's about partnerships. When the energy of 2s, you're seeing 2, 2, 2, 2, 2 is showing up, first it's about, listen to your inner call. You have the assertion, you have the individual power with the 1s, and now it's about your own inner understanding, inner balance, listening to your inner self, your intuitive call. Within you, okay? Within you that this is a guiding force, this is where you're meant to go, this is some of the things that you can't do. So start to pay attention to your intuition. We should always be doing it, but if it's showing up, that's what I'm talking about, the numbers that are showing up in your life as repeated patterns. So 2s are about also, if you're beginning to see that, you'll see divine partnerships open up, soulmate connections open up, a divine counterpart connection may be coming into your life. So pay attention to the people showing up in your life, because there are some divine connections. 2 is about that, is about opening up to understanding, harmony, and balance. And when we are talking about balance, the 2s also relates to about the give and take. So what do, Archana, when I'm seeing the 2s? Like I mentioned, look at where your life has been in balance or out of balance. Are you giving a lot, or are you just take? I mean, it's something that you have to see for within yourself. So when we create the balance of giving and receiving, we are harmonizing the polar forces within us, the masculine energies and the feminine principles. The 1 was all about action, ambition, taking charge, leadership, a very yang element, a very masculine energy. right? Because you're going to start to manifest with the energy of 1. And 2s is about, all right, how can we bring, understanding? Now we have 2 viewpoints and all of that. So for any of these numbers, I think I've done some. I've done 1111s, I've done on 2s. Go ahead and have a look at those videos for more details on it. But in this one, I wanted to kind of put an amalgamation of all these numbers that you're seeing. So start to look at balance in your life and what is out of balance. What requires balance in your life? Are you overworking yourself? Are you just drowning yourself in work and no time for relationships, home and family? That's an imbalance. Okay. And then the other one is like, are you just completely focused on just giving and working on relationships and not on yourself? So 2 is about creating that sense of balance. So for me, when I was seeing the 2s, it was a lot of the activations of my divine feminine energy. Just because I'm a female does not mean that I am holder of the divine feminine energies. Talk for another one. I will talk about that. I have a natural bundle, a strong energetic imprint of the divine masculine, okay, within me. So it's the energy of, and I'll talk about it when we talk about the number 4, okay? I'll touch upon that part a little bit more. So for me, when I was seeing the 222s or different combinations of 2s, 2, definitely the triple 2s, when that came up, it was all about really listening in to my intuitive side to bring in more harmony and understanding, and not always come from my masculine principle, which was my normal to go, which was about taking action. And it's about like, okay, I've said this, it's my way or the highway, but more in terms of softening to the feminine aspect of a give and take and of partnerships, the importance of it, the beauty of it. So you'll start to experience that. So there may be like a little bit of that up and down that you'll see in your life during that time, that when you're trying to balance that part out, it may be hard initially to keep offering understanding or offering understanding for yourself. So there's that. It's almost as if like when you're what's the example I want to give, when you're going to go on a boat, right? You're going on a boat and you're just kind of taking off. It just feels like a rocky start. So when you're beginning to see these 2s, you're actually trying to find those parts and aspects in balance. Let's start with the number 3. So if you've been seeing 3s and you're seeing some combination of 3s, 3s are really about aligning your mind with your heart and soul with the physical realm. So, we talk about mind, body, soul connection, mind, body, soul connection. What really that is talking about is how are we in alignment with our mind, our views, our intellect? How are we aligning it to the heart space, to our soul center, through our driving force of the heart vibration of love and compassion and gratitude? And how are we aligning it to the physicality, right? The mind, the heart, and the soul, the heart and soul, and on the physical plane. So when we're talking about all of this, we're saying that how are you relating to the physical realm? Okay. I'll give you the short descriptors at the end. And I want to kind of explain this part to you is, what is your viewpoint in life? Are you more in terms of positive? You are more joyful? You look for things and you find inspiration. You're finding happiness and joy and gratitude in all moments in life, or many moments in life. It's hard to find gratitude in all moments in life, but in many moments in life. You see, as a soul, we are expanding and learning and growing. As we took birth, we understood our personal power with the one. We're bringing balance in, learning and understanding and growing with another through partnerships, through love, through balance with the energy of 2. Now we're looking at growth and moving forward in life with optimism, hope, inspiration. So when the 3s are showing up around you, so one of the key things that I want to say to you is, are you feeling inspired? Okay, if you are, continue doing what you're inspired to do. If you're feeling uninspired, the threes are asking for you to start to take a more positive, a more joyful, more light approach to life. And one of the best ways in which one can do that is, and that's something that I have practiced and learned in my own life, okay? And that's why I'm sharing these experiences, is through gratitude, okay? Having gratitude for whatever you have in life right now. Whatever you have, it's enough. I'm happy where I am. I'm so grateful to God. I'm so grateful to Divine. I'm so grateful to the universe for everything that it's giving me right now. And as you anchor yourself more in gratitude, you find happiness and joy in the smallest of things. It could be a wonderful change of weather. I was so excited. I had actually a session today, a launch of a new project, and I was absolutely excited. So of course I'm seeing a lot of threes. So the last so many days again, because I'm launching it today. It was on its new moon, 313, okay? And I was very excited, very happy, and supercharged, and it started to rain. And this is my zone of doing all my meditations and healings in my backyard. And I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? Dear God, okay, let me prepare inside, and everything will be okay. If it's going to be cold, I have my sweater. If it's going to be warm, it'll be perfect outside. And it was truly my heart's desire that I wish I could do my first session outside, dear God. And then the rain stopped, the sun came. It was beautiful sun streaming in, and the birds chirping here in Southern California. Happiness. Happiness. I was so happy and so grateful. And I didn't really think about that I should do this, but this is how it has been. Intuitively, I've been working through it. So I'm sharing with you the things that I have done. Some through learned experience and some through intuitive knowings within the heart, which all of us have. And so if the threes are really coming up, it's also, be positive, stay optimistic, find happiness and sweetness and joys of the life. Look at your physical self, your physical body, be loving towards it. Don't be so judgmental. With all these things in the media, it's very natural to be judgmental. So it's the physical body is the house of the soul. So love it, however it is, rather than saying my house is like this and their house is like that. No, this is perfect. You're perfect exactly as you are. So you bring that energy, and when those threes are showing up, it is reminding you, asking of you, and telling you, be optimistic, be hopeful. You are the spiritual being. You are divine spark, and it's flowing through you. So keep the faith in yourself. So when the threes are showing up, another message is that it is a time for expansion. And that's what I even talked about that project when I had started that, when I saw the 1111s. I didn't see the twos at that time, and then I saw a lot of threes. So I saw 1111s and threes a lot during the launch of that big project that I did like a few years back. And I remember that it was a fairly large project, and it was very expansive. So when I was writing about what I'm going to be speaking on the energy of three, it brought a big smile to me when the word was expansive. I'm like, yeah, that was for sure a period of expansion. So if you're seeing those threes, know for sure that it is a period of growth. It's a period of expansion, is opening up for you. So just the very thought that your ideas, your beliefs, your dreams are expanding and growing, you may not fully see them in form yet, but they're growing. That itself is exciting. I mean, it's exciting for me. I get excited when I see my projects come to life. So hopeful, optimistic, positive, joyful, and 333 is Christ consciousness. So it's like connecting to higher dimensions, ascended masters. I say Christ consciousness because I connected with the energy of Christ. Okay, nothing to do with religion. I'm born a Hindu. However, I have a deep connection with Lord Jesus, and the energy of Christ. So when I began to see 3, I would actually feel the energy of Christ around me, within me. And to me, that always meant, be compassionate, Archana. Be more loving. Be more kind. But the 3 vibration, anytime I saw it, just made me feel so fuzzy and warm and loving. Just felt good. It just felt really good. So, well, that's the energy of 3 that I'm going to share with you. All right, so now, as we're moving along this journey, how about now if you're beginning to see the 4s? Now, I'll talk about the 4s, as 4 is also my number. So 4s really is about, if you look at it, 4 corners. Right? I've also done a video on 444, but I'll probably be doing an updated version of 444 because that was done a few years back, and I have grown spiritually in those last few years, and I'd like to add more of what I've learned onto the 4s. So I'll do another separate one on the 4s, but I want to just kind of highlight the fact on if you're beginning to see 4s, 44, 444, and things of, some combination of 4s, it's really about practicality, pragmatic energy. It's the energy of organization. It's the energy of setting foundation. So I call that as the foundational energy. If you're seeing the 4s. So first is understanding the vibration of what that energy is, and then I will tell you what are some of the things that you can do or you may be experiencing or seeing. So if you're seeing the 4s, there may be a chance that you may be in a job or you're feeling like you're in a rut and you need a shift. So there is a foundational shift that's taking place in your life. And that's what this number is showing up for you. That the Ascended Masters, the higher dimensional beings, your spirit guides, your higher self is guiding you. It may feel like, this is such a challenge. I don't know how to do this. Why am I being, quote unquote, having to face these challenges? It's so difficult. It's because there's a part within you that requires more organization, more structure, more discipline. So this is the energy of discipline. This is the energy, literally like, I am born and raised in India, and my father was in the armed forces. He was in a very high-ranking officer in the Indian Air Force. So a very, very military, very, very disciplined life. It used to be quite challenging, 7 a.m. means 6:59 a.m., not 7:01. So very, very disciplined, very, very structured. So very early on within my own life, I have seen a lot of structure, organization, and discipline. Strong discipline. So there's a part within me that automatically is drawn towards certain structures, that there must be a structure. But I'm not afraid of chaos. I love chaos because it gives me that wow. So you could see the charge that I get when I see like a ton of chaos around. All right, which means I'm going to use my creative energy to create a structure out of systems that are not functional right now. Okay. So why I'm talking a little bit about this is because when you're creating structures, you're creating organizations, you are creating stronger foundations, it is also the energy of strength, resilience, and leadership. 1 was the energy of, taking leadership. 4 is, we talk about in tarot, is the card of an emperor. An emperor. It's not wishy-washy and you're just not like all over town and things will just happen when they'll happen. It is order and structure. There is a plan, and there's a plan of action that one takes. This is step 1, this is step 2, this is step 3. What are the different elements that are at play? So you start to use your intellect, your mind, to start to create plans and structures in your life, right? So it is, let's say, you're applying for a job, or you are applying for, going in for higher education. So when I had to apply for my MBA, I was in India. I had to give the TOEFL exam. I had to give my GMAT. I had to get all my rec letters ready. And there was a plan of action when I was applying to study, right? Or similarly, you've got to get your resume together if you are applying For a job, what are some of the elements that need to work? So if you're looking at working at home, okay, if you have things all over the place, you don't know when you're going to buy the vegetables, when you're going to do the cooking, there's chaos. Don't we all create like the quote unquote the to-do lists? So the to-do lists falls under the realm of the fours. Four is the energy of the roots. It's the energy of the home. It's also a very big energy of the home. So when these numbers are showing up in your life, and I'm talking about fours, combinations of fours, it is pay attention to things taking place in your home and your inner circle. Your close friends, people that you consider in your inner circle. How are you relating to them? Are you giving them the time? Okay. What type of a structure are you creating in that home? So perhaps if you have been too focused on the self, we had the energy of one, where we have the ambition and the drive and the I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, right? Have you been just driven by ambition and ignored the aspect at home? Okay. And a home also is your own home, meaning not the physicality, your physical body. Are you ignoring that part? How are you relating to this aspect within you? Is very important. So it will come to surface if you're beginning to see those fours. Have a look at where your value systems are. And I'm being honest about it. Some people get triggered when I say the next word, which is going to be morals. Fours are about high morality. What are your value systems? What are some of the traditional value systems? Okay. My soul urge is 5, which is what I'll talk about in the next. So I have a big dichotomy. I have a big, strong polar energy within me. There's a part of me that is disciplinarian, traditional, conservative, and then there is this, I'll talk about the 5s, what that is. And it's complete opposite. So one has to learn to bring those aspects in balance. So as these 4s are showing up, start to see it's what's asking you and reminding you to maintain integrity, to maintain high values, to see and create structures in your life. Perhaps there is an area in your life that's lacking structure. Okay, what is some of the steps that you can do? I'll give you an example. I have a good amount of planning. I love to make plans and do that. It's a natural draw. I'm naturally drawn towards leadership roles. I'm not like putting it out and trying to say, oh, this is what I'm good at. No. I go ground up. It's just my natural talent is towards that. But I struggle a lot. Like, I have my papers flown all over the place, and then I have to find things. I'm not very good with filing and organizing. My father was excellent at it, and he would look at me, and I would be so scared of my dad because he was so particular about things. And there I was. He says, Archana, where is the file? Like, I don't have a file. I'm laughing now because I think that's how you choose before we are born the families that we are born in. If my dad I wasn't born in this home, I probably would not want any restriction and limitation of the energy of 4, which is about discipline, which is about limitation, which is about follow through, which is about working within the bounds. And I don't like restrictions. So I'm just throwing that out. So the time when I had learned about that, my life path 4, which is like about a decade ago, I just hated it. I'm like, pragmatic, practical, limited, all the things I don't like. And now I just laugh about it to say that is such an important aspect. So if the 4s are showing up, it's time. Buckle up. Let's get the work done. Let's get the practicality. Why that's so amazing? It's the moment you get structures in place, you learn to discipline yourself on, and it's called mastery of your own energy. It's mastery on where you're going to take leadership, how you're going to take leadership, and how are you directing and refocusing that energy, right? The energy of 4 is really about stability. So when we are looking at stability in our life, that's when that energy of 4 is showing up, is creating stability. So perhaps there are some areas that you are going to need to revisit and have a look at. Is that really in alignment with you and your core values? Or have you digressed from your core values at some point in life? Okay? And it's very natural. This is not a place where one is judging one another and seeing like, oh, you should do this or they should do that. No. I'm simply saying that when you're beginning to see these 4s, it is part of the way the universe is bringing forth an awareness and an understanding of, are you moving in that right direction? You have the backing of all the ascended masters. You have the backing of the higher light beings, your own God source with you. You've got great people around you who can serve or are serving as role models. For sure, you do have role models around you, people who inspire you. Look at what are some of the things that they do. Let me give you an example here. So, in my own home, I look at my younger sister. She's about 6 years younger than me. Her ability to organize and create structure in so many areas of her life always inspires me. And I look at her and I'm like, I don't know how you do it. And she says, if I don't have structure, then I am not going to be able to work, take care of the children, do that, etc., etc. So there are always people around you, but we can choose to either be inspired by them and take that action in our own life, or simply say, I can never do it. That's not me. Okay, so I have done that for a long time, and I would tell her, no, you could do it. You're so good. You're natural at it. And she says, and Didi is an Indian way of calling an older sister, Didi. So she'd say, Didi, I have to push myself to do it. So you have to put your willpower to that particular area and it will manifest. And I find her as a source of inspiration. So have a look at what aspect needs restructuring. So the words you won't hear most of the places when you see the 4s about structure. I'm talking about what requires restructuring. So redirect your energy, refocus your energy towards an area or an aspect in your life that you can create more. When you create a space and you create a structure, then there is a greater flow. It's a greater flow of energy. You're not haphazard. I mean, I know when I file and organize my things, my day goes so nice. Oh, here's my file. I can pull up my meditation part from here and I can do this and I can do this. And it didn't take that time, rather than me spending 40 minutes every single time trying to do that. So, but it's again a part of mastery. Mastery. So this is the time for mastery of that part. The ultimate goal of the number 4 is realization of power. Realization of power. How you apply that energy of 1, your personal power, to create a foundation and a structure for yourself. It will require discipline. It will require focus. It will require limitation. It will require a lot of focused energy. So if they're showing up, this is that time. This is the time to bring in more mastery in that part of practicality in your life. So let's move on to the next energy. Let's talk about the number 5s. So if you're seeing combinations of 5s, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, it's all about movement and change. You know, I've done a video on 555. It's super detailed, and many people have found value in it. If you're interested in knowing more about the 5s, go ahead and watch that video specifically, which talks a lot about my own journey with the 5s. I'll do an updated one, of course, because that was a year and a half back, and a lot of shift has taken place in that. But beginning with, if you're seeing those 5s, we're looking at movement. The key word for 5 is movement, 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 and change. Movement and change. Okay. When we talk about movement and change, it is about freedom. It is about artistic expression. It is about allowing your soul to express itself freely. Freedom of limitation. You know why I'm highlighting all of this? Because what did I just finish with? Force, which was about structure, limitation, discipline. And now we come into the energy of forget the discipline. I want to go explore. I want to learn more. Life's an adventure. I want to learn something new. So allowing your soul to expand and experience. So life as an experience. When you're beginning to see the fives, for sure, your life experiences, your life lessons are coming through an experiential. So it's what we call as experiential learning, not learning from the book. Not learning from the book. You're going to see it manifest. So if you're seeing the fives, definitely watch the other video, but it's about change. It could be that your change is already taking place. You're feeling like complete tumultuous energies in your life right now. You know, I don't know what's going on with my relationships, my job. Maybe you're finding like a lot of angst in a current job, in your current relationship, where you are. So all that limitation energy where you're feeling not in alignment. Now the soul is like pushing you. All right, we have to break this mold of limitation. The limitation was meant to create certain structure. Now you're just stuck in structure rather than allowing your soul an expansion within the structure. So what is it going to happen? It's going to take certain foundations down. So as these fives are showing up in your life, have a look at where in your life you are holding a very, very rigid stand. Your belief systems perhaps about yourself. About I can't do anything, things just are never going to manifest for me, I don't know why I'm in this rut, and all of that. The key part of the fives when they're coming in your life is that it's not like life is about to change and it will just change on its own. What it's trying to show you and ask of you is it's time to pivot, be a little bit more flexible, and to see things from a different perspective. And for that, maybe you will need to, perhaps some of you will choose to go back to school, go back to learn something new, try something that you haven't tried before. That's the energy that gets again linked with one. I relate the fives with the ones because ones is about individuality, your power, and now fives is about expression of the self. How am I expressing myself? If I continually do the same things that I do, I go on the same route, I take my car and I go from point A to point B, and that's the only route that I go with, like that's the only freeway I take, and I land up there. Perhaps I need to go try something different. I always go to this cafe and have this at 1:00 sharp. Perhaps it is time to be a little bit more flexible and try something different. You just never know. You may be inspired. You may feel a draw towards something. There may be somebody you meet, and that may be the next thing in terms of like, wow, yeah, let's collaborate. Or this sounds like a fun project to do, and I've been wanting to do this. I just didn't know how, and you chance about meeting that person there. So unless we do some things that are out of the routine, so we're away from the energy of 4, which was all about routines, is now because the fives are showing up in your life. The fours are not. I'm talking about the fives that are showing up. It's talking about, enjoyment of life. So fives are about the senses. I won't go too deep in this because I've done a big video on the 555. Fives are about the sensual pleasures of life, enjoying life, allowing an opening of the sensual energy within you to find that beauty and love and excitement about life. Now, of course, there are pitfalls when this energy center opens up. It's when you are looking through the energy of the senses, the pitfalls becomes, you are overindulgent. So check yourself. If you're seeing the fives, are you overindulging in certain aspects of the senses? Excess use of drugs, alcohol, partying, pornography, sex, etc., etc. I mean, there are lots. I'm not going to sit down and name all of them. Have a look at it yourself in your life. Where are your indulgences? Are you completely self-indulgent Or have you been too rigid and restricted yourself through not allowing yourself the free-flowing and enjoyment of life? So this is the time to, if you have been too rigid and you haven't allowed yourself that, so this is the time to feel the opening of the senses, to seeing and smelling and feeling the rain. Feel the grass beneath your feet. Look at the vivid colors and look at the flowers, smell. So take time to open up to life, to open up to the physicality. Okay, so the other one was overindulgent, so it is time to take that in check. This is, you have completely restricted yourself, so allow yourself that time. Allow yourself the gift of expansion. So this is that energy of expansion, which we started with the energy of 3, and now it is seeking expression. So through joy, through enjoyment, through happiness, now it's seeking. So it's artistic expression. Maybe you want to enroll like in an art class, and if you already are an artist or a musician, maybe you're inspired to write some new music or paint some new colors. So go to a new location, go someplace where your inner muse arises and opens you up and inspires you to something new. That's the energy of 5. So 5 is like, life's an adventure. Let's go on it. You can't go on it, Archana. We are already in life. So it is actually the energy of freedom. Freedom of expression. Freedom of allowing the soul a full experience through life, through this physical body. So you'll also notice during these 5s that as you do these small little shifts, change your routines up a little bit and do something that you're inspired to, you'll notice that your imagination expands. There's a sense of greater, yeah, for sure. When I began to see the 5s, it was like lots of ideas were coming to me. I was inspired. I enrolled in so many courses. I didn't know that that's what I was doing. I was just doing them. I was inspired to do these things. And that brought about a big shift. It opened me up to this whole different realm altogether. So the 5s are really asking for you to take a more fun, more flexible, more adventurous look towards life. And allow certain changes in your routines, allow certain changes to occur in your life, and you'll begin to see a growth and expansion of the soul. Because we are here to master different aspects of our energy. Like I mentioned, my soul urge is, my natural element is fun, excitement, playfulness. I don't try it, it just bubbles through me. And that's where my soul is very aligned. But I must learn balance. I must learn to be practical, more disciplined, etc. Right? So we are here all learning different lessons to bring in more mastery of the spiritual energy within us. Ooh, this was supposed to be a 15-20 minute kind of a video. I don't know how long it will be. So let's do one thing. We shall pivot on the number 5, and we shall continue this journey through the numbers through 6, 7, 8, 9, and I'll cover 0 also in the next video, which I will put together soon. So I hope this is going to help you, guide you, and kind of show you. I know many of you ask me to make like different number videos. I'll get around to that, but I wanted to kind of put together the energies and shifts that each of these numbers is asking of us, just in more of a compact, yeah, this is Archana's most compact part, and I'm hoping that this will help you. So I send you much love, much light, and much joy, and freedom, and flexibility in life, and allow and treat life as a beautiful adventure with the ups and the downs, and just like a roller coaster. So I send you love and light. This is Archana, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel and you like my energy, then go ahead and subscribe. This is the silly fun part of me coming out. I'm glad I'm ending it on 5. So yeah, that's it. So I will catch you guys later next time. All right, take care. Bye.